Do you catch yourself thinking about home when you're at work a lot? And do you catch yourself thinking about work a lot when you're at home? Is there a guilt from not having the right work life balance that you're experiencing? If so, or if any of those things, then this episode's for you. Do you want to stop letting your days slip away and start leading your life with intention and purpose to pursue your full potential? Then you're in the right place, my friend. Welcome to the Claim Your Day podcast. I'm your host, Nick Maisie. Here, we stop just managing our demanding lives and begin to actively pursue our best lives, rooted in our values and purpose. Each week, we'll discuss practical strategies focused on becoming intentional with all that we do so we can live and lead well. Together, let's make today count. Hello, my friend, and welcome. Welcome to episode 63 of the Claim Your Day podcast. Glad you're here. Glad you're joining in. Guys, this podcast is for you to help you make the most of your time because we only have so much of that time. And as I mentioned in the very beginning, or if you've noticed, if you've been with us in this series, we are talking about is this work-life balance. So here we're going to call it the work-life blend because it's all about being effective where we're at. But if we're distracted by thinking about work a lot when we're at home, or thinking about home a lot when we're at work, and we're not present in the moment, then it can lead to feeling guilty. It can lead to feeling a little scattered and unproductive in both areas. And that's not what we want at all. I definitely don't want that for my life or your life. So we're going to talk about a simple way in this episode that you can help combat that to be more effective, more productive, to even feel better about where you're at and enjoy it more. Hey, if you missed any of the previous episodes in this series so far, make sure you go back and check them out. You can subscribe to the podcast wherever you're listening to this, just so you don't miss any future episodes. But we're gonna get on this because being effective when we're at work, when we're at home, making the most of our time in both those places, it is crucial to living our best lives. So for this episode, for today, what are we going to talk about? Like, how are you going to be able to be more effective and to feel better of it, and really to prevent some of that guilt from this work-life balance ideal that some people talk about? So today we're going to talk about focus. It's going to be the law of focus. John Maxwell talks about this, and it's just about concentrating our abilities so that we can really concentrate where we're at and make our attention sharp and focused on what we're doing. And the key to this, the major overarching key, is being present where we're at. So if you think about work-life balance, as we're calling it here, those work-life blend. I like blend better. Let me go and tell you if I mentioned in a previous episode, but balance, because a lot of times we're not going to have quote unquote balance. Like there's going to be a different amount of time at each place between work and life. And it might be based on the season. It might be based on just the week or how things are going. But if we're blending the two together in a way that works best for us, then we can still be effective. And one of the ways that we're going to help prevent any of the guilt is that, or really the scattered, unproductiveness, is by being present exactly where we're at. So being present and presence and being present can be the antidote to any of that guilt that might come your way. So how are we going to do this? Well, as always, I just have a few key points that are going to help you to really achieve this and to be able to be present where you're at. And then that's going to help you to be more effective, more productive. And when you're effective and productive, then when you move on from being at work to being at home, you can feel good about it because you made the most of your time when you were at work. And when you're stepping from work to home, or from home to work, you can feel good about that step too because you made the most of your time when you were with your family. So how are you going to do this? This is the key to this major part. This first point is to cut out the mental clutter by eliminating multitasking. We got to eliminate multitasking. We got to eliminate the background things that we're trying to do while we're trying to do the main thing. I know this happens a lot, at least for me, at work. And it can even sneak in at home too, where you're doing one thing, but you're trying to do something different too. It doesn't work. It drains your energy. You're not as effective, and really it can cause stress levels to rise because you're trying to track too many different things at once. And it sounds so counterintuitive. You actually get more done, you're more effective when you do one thing. So the first point is committing to cutting out that mental clutter and focusing on just one thing. It will eliminate some of the background multitasking. Instead, do the one thing you're supposed to be doing at that moment. That's the first point. The second one is really dedicating yourself to implementing the one thing. It's a simple framework. It's all about dedicating 100% of your attention to the task, the person, the moment that's right in front of you. And, it's this along the lines of be where your feet are at. So your feet are only at one place. So be 100% there in that moment. If it's talking to one person, then focus on talking to that one person. If it's knocking out a task, then your one thing at that moment is knocking out that task. Whatever's in front of you at that moment, make sure you're dedicating 100% of your attention to that one thing. Now, this is big. It's hard to do, especially with all the demands for our time and attention and dings going off on your phone, and other and emails coming in the inbox, and the whole list of things. And I know sometimes the measures that I take, particularly at work, some people don't care for, but I have to eliminate a lot of the distractions so that I can focus on the one thing that I'm supposed to be doing. And I want to really encourage you to give yourself permission to be dedicated to doing one thing. 100% of your attention for that task, the person, what's in front of you that you're working on that moment. Give yourself permission to dedicate 100% of your attention to that one thing. And like I said, it'll help you to be more effective. It'll help you to reduce some of that stress and be more productive. So that's the second point. The third point is do a little check. Check on yourself. Ask yourself, are you really focused on the one thing you should be doing? Because here's the kicker. You can focus 100% of your attention on one thing, but if that one thing's not what you should be doing in that moment, then you're going to end up with some of the guilt, some of the lack of productivity, some stress rising. So are you using something as a distraction to avoid doing what you should be doing? So here's a little bit of the guilt test. This third point is all about, asking yourself, are you really focused on what you should be doing at this moment? Or are you avoiding it? See, these 3 points, they work together great because, you're going to commit to eliminating some of the background multitasking. Because that stuff's going to drive your stress and deplete energy and steal your focus. So the first point, you're going to commit to eliminating some of those background multitasking. You're going to commit to doing one thing, dedicating 100% of your attention to the task, the person, the moment that's in front of you. And the third point is you're going to ask yourself, are you really doing what you should be doing? And are you experiencing a little bit of guilt by avoiding what you should be doing? If you get those three things working together, you're going to be on the right track. You really are. Because then you're going to be more effective where you're at. People are going to like talking to you more and working with you because you're focused on them when you're in that moment. You're going to be more productive and effective because you're going to eliminate some of those background things. So that your work product might even be a little bit better because you're actually 100% on what's in front of you at that moment. And then every now and then you're going to do this little test and ask yourself, are you avoiding what you should be doing? Are you avoiding doing that essential thing? Or are you actually on it? Then that's going to help you to give yourself that good thumbs up saying, no, you're on it. This is what you should be doing right now. You're not using something as a distraction. You're 100% focused on it, and you don't have things running in the background. Then you're going to be on it, my friend. And that's going to help you to feel better. It's going to help you to eliminate some of that guilt that you might be doing because when you're at work and you are more effective, you can feel good about leaving that and going to be with your family because you knew you were as effective as you could be at work. And then with leaving your family and going to work, the same thing. You made the most of that time and cherished those moments with the people and did the good activities where you weren't distracted. It really made the most of it and to cherish those moments. And then when you're stepping into work, you can feel good about the time that you had with your family. So what's the call to action? What's your next step for this week to implement some of these points? Well, I'm going to challenge you with this And I'm going to challenge you to set a timer and commit to only one task or one person or one activity. And when your mind drifts, because it probably will, you use a very specific phrase: "Be where my feet are at." Be where my feet are at. This is going to be your reset to be present where you're at. Now, on my watch, I can set a little timer. See, and I do this all the time. I like the 25-minute timer for me. You can dial it in for you. You know, a big challenge would be like for the next hour, but I do a 25-minute timer because for me, that's something that with my, my attention and everything, as well as a lot of things at work and family, that time just works out very well for me. So I set a timer on my watch, and I know that I need to focus on the one thing and just focus on that 100%. Now, I don't recommend you set a timer when you're going to go talk to somebody because that might come across a little bit weird. But even when you're talking to someone, when you're with them, if you notice that your mind's drifting, remind yourself, be where my feet are at. Be where my feet are at. If you're working on a task and you're starting to drift, be here right now. Be here right now. Focus on it. Reset as much as you need to, and it's going to help you to develop the skill of getting mentally back on track when you get distracted. It's not about being perfect, but it's about getting able to get back on track when you do. And use the timer. Use a simple timer if you're working on a task and you know you need to focus on it. Because when you have that timer counting down, it's like it gives your brain permission to get distracted after the timer goes off. But then you're being intentional with it, my friend, and that's all about. That's what this podcast and life is all about. Is about being intentional. So if you need to get distracted after your timer goes off, and it's going to help you to be more effective during that time. All right. Well, that's what I get for today's episode. Thank you for listening. Focus on the one thing exactly where you're at right now. Make the most of it, my friend. It'll help you with that work-life blend so you can be effective and make the most of both locations or both situations and help you to cherish those moments and ultimately to claim your day and make the most of it. That's what I want for my life. That's what I want for you and yours and what's most important to you. Thanks again for listening. Take care, and I can't wait to talk to you again in the next episode.